Well, by now, you probably all have a pretty good idea that I love talking about youth ministry. But in my last episode, I talked a little bit about young adult ministry, so I figured I could give it one more episode about young adults. So today's all about how to run a young adult retreat. Well, welcome back to Youth Ministry Insights, or for today, maybe Young Adult Ministry Insights. And that's because in my last episode, I had on two young adult group members, Kat and Ryan, who shared a little bit with me in a Q&A session about what young adult ministry is all about. If you haven't checked it out, it's the episode right before this for Youth Ministry Insights. So I thought it'd be nice to just kind of piggyback on that and share a little bit more in depth about some of the things we do with young adults. And one of the things that was mentioned on that interview was that young adults really do enjoy the retreats. And so I'm going to share a little bit today more in depth about how those young adult retreats are run and some ideas to incorporate into them. So first, come up with a really good relatable theme. Young adults really do take to that. They really do grasp it. And I talked about having a theme with the youth ministry, which is based off of a song. Whereas this case, the theme, typically what we have used in the past, was based off of a Bible verse. So one of my favorite themes that I think was very relatable to the young adult was to cast all your anxieties on him, for he cares for you. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. And so that was a very relatable theme, right? What young adult doesn't have anxieties in youth group as members as well, right? We all do. Every one of us have anxieties. And so it's very relatable, and we're able to take that theme and incorporating into talks, the priest incorporating into his homilies for the weekend. So the theme really is going to carry out throughout the weekend. And so make it a weekend retreat. If I didn't mention that already, weekends are great. You can leave on a Friday, come back on a Sunday. Some of the wonderful advantages of having a young adult ministry is that it's a lot less paperwork because they're over 18. They can sign off things for themselves. So even if you're missing some paperwork for permission forms and release forms and what have you, you can just have them sign off for it themselves. So it's really great. Driving's not so much an issue anymore because most young adults do drive. And if not, they're okay with carpooling with other people. Again, it probably saves you a permission form from driving together. So it's really easy to make this a weekend getaway, weekend retreat. And so have it at a place that's really beautiful. If you can find a retreat house near you that is just a little bit away, so you feel like you're going away for a retreat, but close enough that it's accessible. Our retreat house is about an hour and a half away, so it's just enough far away from crazy congested New Jersey into a little more rural PA where there's these rolling hills and this beautiful retreat house on these wonderful grounds, which all make it feel like you are actually away from the world. And that's what a retreat is. It's a time to kind of pull back away from the world. So incorporating this theme for your retreat with some talks from maybe some of the people from the actual community of the young adult group or from your parish community, it's always good to hear from people like that. Deacons, priests, seminarians, all of them have wonderful insight that they can be able to share with the parish, with the community of the young adults from the parish. So I really do recommend bringing in some of those people and also using some of the people from the community itself of the young adult group. If you have great leaders within that group that are respected, that are well spoken, can give a good talk effectively, use them. Let them take that ownership of it. And then, of course, utilize your priest. If you can use a priest from your parish, if you are so lucky to have a priest with you for the entire weekend that is especially relatable to the young adults, then use one of those priests. Have them come and be a part of your weekend, because the priest is going to be utilized so much for not only for talks, but also for mass, for hearing confessions, for giving some little spiritual guidance or spiritual direction over the weekend, being able to answer questions, being able to be approachable during some downtime of the retreat. Is always great to have a priest available for that if you are able to. Also, you want to really allow this weekend to have bonding time. Young adults, unlike youth, aren't afraid to, talk to each other, be around each other, maybe converse. I think there's a lot of walls that are broken down once a youth graduates high school, and maybe that's part of college and maturity and life lessons that are learned along the way. But young adults love just being around each other. They love talking, meeting each other, meeting somebody new, conversing to one another. So allow for that. Have some downtime, have some recreational time built into it, and that will allow to foster those relationships. Also, throughout the weekend, have some small group time where they can get to know one another, answer some questions. Maybe those questions are related to the talks themselves, where they can share about their faith and learn from one another. That downtime in between, as well as mass built in, meals built in, is going to really just make for a weekend of that bonding time surrounded by aspects of our faith. So having daily mass on the Saturday, of course, having Sunday mass on the Sunday, is going to all be a part of that weekend retreat. I also recommend a holy hour once, if not twice, throughout the weekend. If you can, have all-night adoration, where those that are attending the retreat can sign up to be a part of that adoration time and have an hour with the Lord to listen, to pray. And it's beautiful to have that built in, where maybe they never experienced that time alone before, especially in the middle of the night if you do holy hours throughout the night. Beautiful, amazing. And then lastly, one of the best parts about retreat is just seeing how the young adults relate to each other. And so anybody that has maybe a guitar, an instrument, a ukulele can bring it along the way, and they can just maybe have some jam time or downtime where they can play and others can sing along, or bringing a football or frisbee or wiffle ball, where during the recreational free time, they can pick up and just play sports out in a field or wherever there's an open space. All that, again, is going to foster this community that young adults are so yearning for. And again, surrounded by the aspects of our faith, mass, adoration, confession, spiritual talks. That is what comprises a young adult retreat. And that is what is going to build the community of young adults and not only touch the hearts of the youth, but touch the hearts of these young adults. And in turn, touch their souls. God bless.